Hey everyone, what is up, Banditos? Welcome to Friday. Hope everyone had a great week. You're hearing another episode of the Dollar Bin Bandits. Today we have two guests, two amazing guests. At that, we have the Wizard guys. We have Adam Pope and Michael Canetti. We were absolutely pleasured, not pleasure, that's gross.
Pleasure.
Were you now?
Excited. Insert adjective
How
here.
excited.
Thrilled, but honored more than anything to be a part of their podcast a number of months ago. We had such a great time. We wanted to have them on our show. So, guys, thank you so much for being here.
It's our pleasure, guys. We are super jealous. You guys get the top talent on your show, and so we're real pleased to be a part of that pantheon of guests now. It's us and Ron Mars and Dan Jurgens, Chris Claremont and Michael Canetti. It's all together,
Oh yeah, we're way up in that echelon. Yeah, we're up there.
We just
go by the top 10 writers and artists from your Wizard magazines, and then
that was actually pretty funny how these guys are up and coming, and then here we are interviewing them after their illustrious career.
They've arrived once they're on our show.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So, Mike, this is your baby. I'm going to let you drive. Take it away.
Yeah, so we're super excited. I think we're all like 90s kids when it comes to comics. Certainly wonderful comics that came out before. Some great comics that came out after. Oren has this strict, is it 94 or 93? Let's get this 93. Right down. 93 cutoff. Anything after that does not exist in Oren's world, which is fine. There are plenty of 1990 to 1993 comics that we all love. And what we thought we'd do tonight, and this could be maybe part one of many because there are just so many of these examples out there, is go around and look at the 90s gimmick cover Hall of Fame, or at least our favorites from that genre. And there are many to choose from. So what we thought we'd do is kind of categorize them, go around in a few rounds, and talk about some of the ones that jumped out of our collection. I have stacks here, but we're really going to try to keep it to like one of each because we have 5 of us. And here are the categories. The categories tonight are die cut, obviously anything shaped out of the cardboard of the front cover of the comic. Polybagged, a lot of stuff can come in Polybagged, but mostly trading cards. Third would be foil / chrome / glow in the dark, whatever kind of material treatment on the cover. And then fourth is just going to be wild card, whatever you guys liked from those former categories, or maybe they don't even fit into a category. So let's start out with die cut. I'm going to let the guests go first. I see Michael already flipping. So Michael, could I?
No.
No. That's what I meant. I'm not going to go to Michael first because he is very into thought as to which one he's going to choose. So I'm going to.
I will preface by saying my wife and I are preparing to do construction on my house. So half my comics are in a storage unit and all my collectibles are gone too. That's why you see this like purple light behind me, because there's nothing back there otherwise. So I just had to like fill in the background for you guys. So I found what I could find. So I'll go second if you want.
Totally fine. I usually set the bar really low for backgrounds in terms of relevance to comics, as you can see with my plant and my window.
I'm a film professor, and I told my students to check it out. So I said I have to do some sort of depth of field. So I was like, I better light the background because they're going to comment on it.
I dig it.
It's your Prince tribute that you didn't take down.
Oh. Prince and I share the same birthday, so I'm a big Prince fan.
It was. Yeah.
There we go.
Is now and forever will be a Prince tribute.
Yes.
Adam, that means you are up first.
And I'm going to disappoint because as I scoured everything in my collection, all my gimmick covers, I remember there was one in particular I had back in the day that I no longer own. I remember when it ripped, and I'm sure one of you is going to pull this one out because it's very infamous. So I have one that is not die cut, but it is a cover cut. In fact, it's a cover mutilation when you want to see what you're dealing with here. And that is Shadowhawk 2. Okay. This is issue number 3. And of course, you see here some little hands holding a giant helmet. The perspective on this was always a problem for me. Just look at how tiny his hands are.
I have that.
Hands.
And I never noticed it.
Terrified. Yeah. So, but the gimmick of this one was you had to actually rip the sides of the cover. I actually have 2 copies of this because of that. And then you actually got to look up, and there he is holding the helmet up. Okay.
Jesus. That's some long arms.
How long are the arms?
Tiny
exactly.
So many heroes just lift their helmet this high.
Right, exactly.
He's the Hawk. He's got to have a big wingspan, you know?
There you go.
True.
Yeah.
When I take off my hat, I go like this.
Yeah, so that always just cracked me up because I just thought that was so funny that like you had to actually destroy the comic. It literally has no value if you want to see the gimmick. And maybe Jim Valentino planned that. He wanted you to buy 2 copies, one to enjoy, one to keep sealed, so to speak. So
nice.
Love
okay.
it.
All right. So I will tell you that I didn't know if I even had one prior to doing this podcast with Adam. So I went to a collectible shop and found one, and I found Forceworks #1, which has this sort of big expandable poster inside of it. And it's pretty cool looking. And I tried to be very ginger when I opened it so I wouldn't destroy it. And I was actually able to fold it back mostly and close it up. But it's pretty cool cover. I've not read the inside at all. I just bought it because I needed to talk about it for the podcast. So there you go. But it's kind of cool. I dig it.
I remember Forceworks. I do not remember that cover. And
it's a pretty neat cover.
It's of the genre where they just kind of stuck 2 words together, one from column A and one from column B, and it's like, that's a comic. All right, I'm gonna bring up the rear. So I'm gonna go to Joe and then Oren, and then I'll throw mine in the ring.
What is this comic?
This is die cut.
Die cut. All right. So I have, what's near and dear to me. We have Reign of the Supermen. Honestly, the Superman symbol has been cut out of these. I think I have like so many versions of these. Open it up. And in this one, who's here? Well, it's Steel.
Ooh.
So, yeah,
I have those. I have those.
Yep.
Yeah, and I do too. I'm just realizing now they're so ubiquitous. I didn't even consider them die cut or gimmicks. I'm just like, that is just what that is.
Yeah, I have a lot of Superman related stuff as pertains to these categories. So
yeah, that whole Reign of the Superman era, there was a lot of like gimmicky covers throughout that whole thing. So they were like, got to sell these books. We're pushing these characters.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was, the death when he's the bagged death, the bagged, return,
rebirth. Yeah.
There was the one that came out. I guess it was right before he actually came back, where he's like, I think it's like it's either him or his father are having a discussion, and it's going towards the light or something, something like that. So yeah.
Right in the thick of that period of time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oren, what do you got?
I could not find my die cut stuff. I'm sure
it's you're out of the podcast.
I know. Well, I could describe one, but
the eyes of judgment are shaming you right now.
Let me just cut this comic real quick.
Get it to you.
People would believe you.
Remember this one? Yeah.
Well, why don't you give us something else you got?
I'll give him a random one. I don't have die cut, but I do have the paper cover. Because you might say to yourself, I like color photos, or I might like a brown paper bag someone drew on. This is what you could get.
But I remember that.
Oh yeah, Punisher number 57, Wanted Dead or Alive.
Right.
That's hard.
I mean, what better number than 57?
It's, classic, because if you switch the numbers, it's 75. And that, of course, is a key number. So this is just preparing you for number 75, which I think was a foil cover with him holding a knife that's silver. Up.
Got it right here. Yes, indeed. There you go.
Playing this?
Oh,
Damn.
I remember that one. I remember.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Months in advance.
Very nice. All right. So to close out this category, I have a bunch, but this one I think is a classic of the genre. Oh no, I don't have my thing mirrored. Okay. So it's going to be Wolverine number 50. What do I do not mirror my video? I guess. Let's see if this works.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the one. Yep.
Wolverine number 50. So obviously this is one of the die cut covers that is not very geometrical. It actually has sort of like ridges and what have you. Is this the one you ripped, Adam?
Yeah. The outer one there just ripped.
Makes sense. I mean, it completely, yeah. What I like about this, besides the fact that it's not like symmetrical and, very, shapely, is that it is also like a file, right? So they kind of made it so that you're opening a file that's been ripped and then you see the actual cover beneath. So Wolverine 50, yay.
Those designers were jerks. They really were. Hey, I get it. Let's have them destroy the book.
Yeah.
Destroy the file about the book. All right, cool. So that'll do it at least until our wild card for die cut covers. Let's move on to the second category, which is Polybagged, which you guys probably know a lot about because Wizard, almost every issue, I think, came Polybagged, at least from what number on? Maybe you probably know.
Yeah, I mean, they really
maybe one was.
Well, no, one wasn't, but yeah, it started. I'm trying to think. I think it was around 10 or 11 because I think it was 10 was the one, with Youngblood, because you had Shaft and Cable on the cover. Then there was a trading card. That was the big one. I think it might have started right before that. Anyway, but yeah, so it was right after a few issues they got into that business.
Nice. All right, so what do you guys got in terms of Polybags? I'm sure a ton of them, but what's the choice? Adam, we'll keep going in the same order unless you guys want to switch up.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this one out real quick because fans of our podcast have seen this. You might notice there's a chunk missing out of this when I forced myself to eat part of a copy of X-Force #1, Polybag and all. And Michael stayed with the podcast after that, which is amazing.
I was going through files today and I came across it. I was like, oh, I forgot about this.
You have the completed one. Look at that.
Yeah, I did not eat mine. I'm trying to think what card I have. What was it? One card which had.
Yeah, let's see. This one's I have Shatterstar in this one, so
it's probably like collect them all. I think I probably have like 5 copies of this with each card.
The thing we learned about that is those were officially a subset of Marvel Universe Series 2. That was something that was reported in Wizard that that's what they considered. Impel said yes, those are officially part of that series. So they are collected. But the one that I really wanted to highlight here that I think is so cool, speaking of Superman, is this awesome. Ooh. It's a little bit ripped here. I've had some fun with it. But what this was color forms.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Color forms. That's so
awesome. But the thing is, they showed you the color form gimmick because the cover itself is just
where you stick it to.
Yeah, so it's just blank, so you could do your own cover. And then, if you look here, the Polybag actually has Lobo and Superman and all the instructions and everything in there. Plus, I loved how they did this back in the day. DC would do all these these lines that would give you all the details about what was going on, so it's collector's edition telling you all the details. But
all the bullet points.
The most fun, to do that kind of color forms cover is so hilarious to me. I will say also the worst Polybag ever. This is Gen 13 number 25. Yeah, you can't make out what's going on, can you? Because they just put black lettering over the whole image telling you there's a preview of Danger Girl included with this issue. But it's one of those things where you're just like, it could have at least been white text, so it popped.
Right.
It just poor design.
The
You've been
Like
Polybagged.
Danger Girl.
They were trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone was really pushing on Danger Girl hard. They're like, we got to obscure this whole title just so we can get
That's where the money's at.
All right, Michael, what do you got?
All right. I couldn't remember specific ones that were polybagged. I know my box that had like my Death of Superman is in storage, but I did find this, which I think was polybagged, Adam. I don't remember.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I have that actually in my die cut thing.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if it was polybagged.
I think it came just as is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the gimmick was the fact
was
that it had
this, right?
the
Yeah.
swing
Right.
out.
But I wasn't sure. I was like, did it? Because it was such a big deal, whatever.
Oh,
But yeah, I
Jesus,
remember
like-
having this, and I was so like bummed by this. Like, this is the Batman costume. I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Don't make
Thanks.
Joe Quesada sad. He worked hard on that.
Should stick to Exo Manowar, I guess.
All in
I
good
remember
time.
there was an evolution to that suit, and they kept adding
Yeah, they started
little
with the
pieces,
hands,
the
and-
gauntlets, right? Like from Azrael, and
Yeah.
then eventually it just got to that monstrosity. Let's
Yeah.
face it.
armored spikes for no reason, all that good stuff.
All right.
Joe, what do you got in bags?
So this is I have two. The bagged version, I have no idea where it is. It's in there somewhere. This one I pulled out a while for a few months
Well, this
now.
was a good one with the
Yeah.
goggle. Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, so this was definitely polybagged. This was the open version, and I attempted to read it with the 3D glasses. And
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
be honest with you, this 3D science sucks. It never works. It just makes everything look.
Don't tell James Cameron.
Sorry.
So
Well, you should have waited until the modern day because Mike Allred perfected it. I'm just telling you, he got it right. Or you needed Valiant Vision glasses. Maybe that was.
I
the
guess
issue.
so.
actually, during Final Crisis, there was a 3-issue Superman story during Final Crisis, and it was all in 3D. And it was really fantastic. It was
Really?
the only good thing about Final Crisis, in my opinion, that I really liked. I do have other weird polybag ones that I will mention. I was collecting a lot of those like Funko, send it home boxes type of things. And they would send like their variant cover Funko Pop comics polybag. It was like, we're doing 90s stuff. We're not doing Funkos. I'm not going to even pull those suckers out. So
Are Funko still like, a thing?
yeah, believe it or not, like, so I was asking my comic shop and they were like, only the exclusives. Like if it's got even some sort of, sticker on it, people go bananas over it. Or they've been doing stuff like the Kool-Aid Man and the Chester Cheetah, and that stuff's big right now for some reason. Like, all right, whatever, dude.
Yeah, I
I'll tell
thought
you the
maybe
random
that
pop
had,
culture stuff.
I thought that had cooled off a bit, but I guess I don't know. I stopped with the shawarma, Avenger shawarma scene. Get all those together, and they form the table where they're all sitting at the table. But
Was the shawarma edible?
no.
Did it have a scent? Was there anything going on with the shawarma?
Smell like New York City.
It came with a little dipping sauce.
The white sauce.
Yeah.
Okay. Oren, your turn.
I have first issue of Blood Syndicate. And the thing with this is if you wanted to get the poster, each one had 4 panels, so you had to get all 4 to get the giant poster. Plus, you got a trading card. Now, just to remind everyone, 1993, 92, asking someone $3 for a comic book, that's a bold statement. You're asking a lot of money. We can get 3 single issues or 1 issue of this. But I like these stories. I thought this was a cool series. I don't think DC pushed it enough, but I definitely have this as my polybag choice.
Nice.
Yeah, the milestone stuff was great. I thought, like sort of a mini, like imprint, right, as part of DC, and they also had that impact line. They never did anything. We keep harping on it with some of the creators we talked to, that they really didn't push the impact line, and part of that was there weren't any gimmick covers for that either. They really didn't do anything with them.
Yeah, they should have done a picture of the Fly, but like a close up on his head, and then it had like his eyes, like
all the different
sparkly or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, then, Adam, come on.
I'll go back in time.
Seriously,
I'll drop off my packet.
Say that now.
Didn't write a letter. Just because it's at hand. Here's another of the genre. Whoops. Hardware. So that was part of the, I guess, the poster. And then I wanted to bring, because I'm sure you guys have talked about this already, but I just went ape for this, and I don't think I've ever opened it, nor have I read what was inside it, but I just loved the head piece, which was the wizard image thing where they had the profiles. Mm-hmm. I thought that was super cool. But just because I forgot I had this, I forgot they did it, and probably not many people even remember it. Solitaire.
Ooh,
from the Ultraverse.
I have an issue of Solitaire, but it's not Polybagged, but it has a gold seal that says only 5,000 copies. I didn't know there was a Polybagged one.
What? Yeah, so this Polybag is completely opaque. You have no idea what could possibly be inside. I've not opened it. I haven't opened any of these, by the way, and probably have read like a very small percentage of them because I just never opened them and didn't get multiple copies. But anyway, so opaque, just the cover, it's basically art on a polybag. And I thought that was cool. I don't remember anything about Solitaire as a character.
Does it say it has a trading card inside? Because I know Wizard reported is that what that says right there? Yeah.
Solitaire card. I'm terrible with using the camera here. Okay.
They figured if Superman could do all black, we could do all black at Malibu.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised no one brought that up. I guess
we still want to put our kids through college on that.
Yeah. I said, Mike, bless your heart for not opening that. I like that. No, Ultraverse, man. That's the one I'm not opening.
To tell you the truth, I didn't open any of them.
No.
Like, I think I maybe read Superman 75 like years later, maybe. But I still probably have no idea what's an X-Force, any of these.
That's probably for the best.
There were a whole series that were polybagged, like the Executioner's Song crossover from X-Men.
Yep.
Who are the guys? The Spirits of Vengeance or whatever.
Oh, yeah. See, that one is weird. I had that Night Stalkers.
Where
they were like a team.
Right.
And it was so weird because they put like these weird wisps and like cross hatching on the polybag over the characters. It was so strange.
That's weird.
If I could find that. Here, I have the exact one you're talking about.
Yep.
Night Stalkers.
What is going on there?
I don't know. I don't know. I never opened it.
Well, at the time, you were like shamed if you did open it. Like if you went to a comic store and someone heard you say like, "I can't wait to open this up and read it," like people like cross their pearls. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh! Like, how could you think of doing that?"
God forbid you went in there and actually like just purchased it and ripped it open right
just
there.
Like rip with your teeth. Like, oh, let's check this out.
Might as well just like pull it on the floor.
All right, so enough polybag madness for now. We are moving on to probably the largest category, which is cover treatments, if you will. Foil, chromium, I guess. What have you, glow in the dark, whatever that they applied some sort of material to the cover is what we're looking for now. And I have like a humongous stack over here, so I got to figure out which one I'm going to use. But it's not my turn, so let's turn it to Adam and see what he has for us.
All right. Well, we love shiny things, right? Especially in the 90s. Shiny. Woo! Gotta have it. And so I loved, though, when they were artistic about it and they integrated it properly to say, okay, this is part of the story. And one of my just favorite comics in general from the 90s was Bartman. And here he actually was at a comic book factory about to fall into a vat of chromium ink. And so they put that on the cover. And that is just perfect to me. But the problem is that other publishers get the same idea that, okay, the whole background is going to be shiny. This is Chainsaw Vigilante, by the way. He was a spin-off from The Tick. I loved this back in the day. But then Valiant just went too far because now the whole thing Magnus, what's going on? I can't see you. It's too shiny.
Too shiny.
You've been outshined. I love that. I didn't remember that there were any comics that used any of this kind of stuff for humor, like
yes.
Bartman. That was actually the first example I've ever seen of that. Michael,
All right,
are you ready?
I'm ready, and we've talked about these ad nauseum, but first gimmicky kind of like really crazy cover. This is hard to see. It's Shadow of the Bat 35. We've talked about actually on our YouTube channel, and it's all like embossed like through like a letterpress, and only the symbols is in color, and everything's kind of like this weird shadowy color. It's really neat cover. The story is at best, but it's very, very cool, and I just love the cover. It was one of the things that I saw it as a kid. I was like, must buy this. Don't know why. It looked cool. And I have to then for like chromium things, we have to talk about these four boys.
Right my God, yeah.
Oh yes,
the 3D covers.
Yeah, the whole thing.
I have some too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
some of those are going up in value because it's like the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. So suddenly,
we looked it up. I forget
one.
which cover. I think it was either the black cover or the green cover is actually starting to get like around $60, and I was like, okay, all right. Well, I'll hold on that a little bit longer. So
sorry, I said 3D. It's hologram covers.
It's hologram, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just throw this up since we're talking hologram covers.
Yeah, Robin.
The Robin miniseries
Yeah.
did a lot of stuff, including hologram covers, foil.
I remember
die
so
cuts,
many
everything.
versions of that cover.
That's
you
where
know.
DC just went overboard. It was insane.
Dude.
Plus, then Robin 3 had actual, lenticular cover. Plus, it was in a polybag. Plus, like that was nuts.
Plus, Robin delivered it to you.
Yeah. Then he got to hit him with a crowbar. All right.
Interactive covers. Joe.
So back to, well, of course, there's Superman when he's back.
That's one of my favorite covers. I love that cover.
But I got to tell you, like, it is chrome, but when you look at it, like, the colors are pretty dull. Like, it's not, it is shiny in that it is chrome, but when you look at the colors, there's not a whole lot of vibrance compared to, say, like, this Avengers, which is shiny as hell, man. Like, really just, it's blinding.
That looks like a later, not version, but it's probably later in the timeline, and therefore maybe they perfected the shininess quotient.
Probably. They polished it up good, I guess. This one is one of my favorites. I found this digging through some comics with Oren and came across it, and he's like, dude, you have to buy that. And this is not chrome, but it's a cover treatment, Eclipso with the jewel.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you've worked on this, right? We've seen this.
Physically
You've shown
there.
this to me before, right? Yeah.
Oren has the one without the jewel.
Me too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my copy was without the jewel as well.
So,
Yeah, both, actually, I think, Oren, right?
Yep. I looked out.
Yeah.
So,
And which did you read?
oh, both.
Wait, this one's got to be different.
Did it make a difference in the experience?
I think we asked Bart Sears about it. He just thought it was like the dopiest thing that he was like, I don't care. He's like, oh, you don't care. I have two things here. I always loved glow in the dark. And so when I saw these growing up in the comic store, I had to have them. They don't glow so well at night. You'd think they'd be pretty cool looking. It's just sort of like this light green hue that comes off of it. But I didn't know for years, I mean, because I never saw it, that there was a second run of it. We, Joe and I found
glow? Both glow?
Yeah, both glow.
Huh.
We found a storage container, Joe and I, and they had a whole stack of these second issues. So I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what we've actually heard from comic book store owners from that era that are like followers of our social media and stuff. They're like, yeah, we ordered that second printing and then we just had stacks of it after the fact.
Wow.
Like, at that point, the party was over. And the second one I have is Avengers West Coast number 100 with a red foil, because there's a Death and Avenger in here. and nothing brings doom.
That is
and gloom.
terrible.
Like
reflective red.
Yeah, it looks like something you would put Valentine's candies in. But it caught my eye. But I'll say this about all these books, that when we were growing up and we go to the comic store and we saw something like this, like it was awesome, man. Like we had to have it because it had to be a special issue. So, all their marketing and all these gimmicks they did, it worked because we all bought it and we
Mission
all thought,
accomplished.
yeah.
Yep.
So hats off to them, man.
I wanted to include this one though too. The glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Is that glow in the dark?
Yeah. So you got to hold it up and then.
Yeah, you gotta get it at the light for a little while and let it like absorb it. Then it'll glow like a little bit. It's like,
but then you have it autographed.
So it was sold, by it had Dan Jurgens and Joe Rubenstein's signatures.
On Home Shopping Network, is that where you got it?
Certificate of Authenticity. No, this is my local comic book shop at the time, which has now since closed. So Orrin and I interviewed Ron Friends about this. And I'm like, hey, Ron, I have this. It has the other guy's signature. It doesn't have yours. He's like, oh, okay. All right. Well,
not making any offers.
There's that.
Sign it yourself, Joe.
Yeah.
Why not?
Ron Friends.
All right. Well, I think Orrin won with the all red cover because that is just the most opulent, ridiculous cover I've ever seen. I'll just throw up a few that are part of that I found in my collection. One, the Warlock Chronicles.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got the stars in the back, but yeah, it is sort of that. Let's just make the background all crazy and sparkly, and then just put a
Marvel
figure
was
on
so
it.
weird with that. Like, what is this prismatic weird stuff, right?
Yeah, and that's bronze, right? I hated that color.
Yeah, it's a strange color.
Yeah, very terrible.
I also have this guy right here, which is like this weird.
Yeah,
what comic is that, Michael?
This is that Clive Barker Hokum and Hex thing.
That's right.
Ridiculous.
You're the guy who bought it.
I found it in a comic shop recently for like 99 cents. Like, well, I got to get this. Just talk about it. It looks weird.
And then the couple that are actually, I mean, there were some that were good comics. Like this didn't need it, but it was a part of Peter Davis' run. Pretty good. I mean, great Keown cover. And I thought this mini series just did really well with the with being a little bit subtle but giving it a shine is the Man Without Fear. And I think if I'm correct, this actually is like raised sort of fingerprint. Yeah, like embossed stuff. And they did it in each, like here's two. It was just sort of that subtle background kind of foil. So, but that's what Frank Miller is subtle, so you got to give him a subtle kick with the red foil. All right, so I think we're at our wild card category, and feel free. I think we're good on time, so feel free to throw a few in there. But Adam, what do you got left in the tank?
So I kind of mentioned the word earlier with Robin 3, which I realized it wasn't 100% lenticular because you had to actually pull a tab to make that one work. But there were a lot of lenticular covers back in the day. This was announced in Wizard as the first official lenticular cover. Wow. This is AC Comics premiere, and they just put a card on the front of it, which cracks me up. But the one that I'm sure everybody remembers, Sensational Spider-Man #1 here, which always is super, the images blend together on it. So it's not, I don't know how you space out lenticular images, but it would have helped if they could have figured that out one. But for me, because it's just one of my favorite comics of the 90s in general, Resurrection Man, that has this skull inside the eye, and it changes to all these different demons.
That's actually really cool.
It's really effective, and it's what got me to pick up the issue, and then I just kept buying it. It's like one of the most successful gimmicks, in my opinion, is like, hey, it worked because it was an actual awesome comic. So lenticular, baby.
All right, I have Michael.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna melt all your brains when I show you this.
Please
I've
melt
never
my brain.
even shown this to Adam. This was a deep cut that I dug to find.
Do it.
Do you guys remember these you get in the cereal boxes?
Oh wow.
Yes.
Oren has a whole.
Oren
Oren's
probably
about
is
to-
reaching for one right
He's
now.
going through it.
Drake's cakes.
Oh
Yes.
snap!
I don't think I ever found the fourth one, but I have like 2 or 3. Oh yeah, there they are. Yeah.
That's. So
I still have one in the bag. Still, look at that. Who knew? Polybagged. Buddy knew. So yeah, I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I found these and was like, wow, I gotta get this and pull this out. So there you go.
That's cool.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Those are good. I feel like I have them somewhere, but I have no idea. Actually, I'm not sure. I was like, maybe I remember, but no.
I found this. I don't even know if this came out of my note. Did this come out of Wizard? This poster?
I'm pretty sure. I think that was the 30th anniversary issue. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I found this that I had it. I was like, so I actually had the magazine at one point, so I must have had the cover, but yeah, I found that poster. But yeah, those 2 things that were pretty cool and I wanted to show you guys. That was kind of neat. So yeah,
I don't know about you, but when I see that style font of the X-Men, I hear the theme song playing in my
in your
head.
head, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I literally saw it and I heard
Oh,
it
shit.
every single time. Yes. 100%.
All right, good. I'm not the only one.
If we were still in the 90s, I'd probably put that on my ringtone.
The show's coming back on Disney Plus in a little while, so
Is it
I
really?
heard that.
yeah, they're doing what do they call it? Like
X-Men 97.
97.
Yeah, it's like the new season for it.
Are they going to do it the same way?
Same style.
Same style.
Yeah.
When it first started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
not
know.
the
Yeah, they're
last
going to get the
season.
Because the
original
last
terrible
season
Korean.
It is rough. Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
season was little. Someone phoned it in, literally. I have this one. I don't know if you call this a gimmick so much as it's a kind of a big trend nowadays with these blank covers. This one just doesn't have any drawing on it because I didn't get a chance to get it drawn on. But I kind of dig these. Their comic store by us or by where I live now. They have a whole rack of just blank covers.
Yeah,
and,
Midtown
whenever-
Comics in the city has that too. There's a whole wall of just blanks that people buy to get autographed and colored on. Or
Oh,
Well, that
I
was
was
my
like, what are you supposed to
question
do
is-
with them?
Yeah, like at a convention, do they charge you more for a sketch versus
Yeah, so-
just an autograph? Okay.
So I've done it. I've done it. I'm not gonna lie. Terry Dobson's one of my favorite artists, and I was at New York Comic Con and I brought a book and I was like, "Here, just draw whatever you want to do." And he's like, "Okay." And he 30 seconds later did a really cool Jean Grey, and he's like, "That'll be $40, kid." I was like, "Okay, you got it, dude.
Sure.
Thanks."
Wow.
Take all my money.
That's
I like how they actually have to spell out blank. Like, can I see that cover again?
Yes. Superman blank.
Superman.
yeah.
In case you didn't notice.
Yeah. Oh, this
That's
is
awesome.
blank. Oh, forget it then.
But a lot of times also now, a lot of the artists on their social media will say, if you have blank covers, you can mail them to me and I'll do a whole
Wow.
thing, sketch, whatever. And they post it on their social media and they charge big money to do a front and a back and full color, whatever. And it's wild.
That
It's
is cool.
really, really cool stuff.
Oh, it's more than Ron Friends was offering to do.
I mean, do you give them any blank covers, or do you try to keep it within whatever genre,
No,
whatever
sometimes-
character they've drawn
Like-
before?
Like Frank Cho, for example, he does a lot of them for people, and you might hand him a Wonder Woman and he'll draw all kinds of characters. He does a lot with Spider-Man, and Wonder Woman on the cover, and he'll do wheat cakes jokes on it and all kinds of weird stuff, and just goes crazy. He's got a cool Instagram for that too.
Oh, cool.
That's neat.
Oren.
There's one I spent all day looking for it and I couldn't find it. I know I have it somewhere. There's a comic book from Malibu called The Protectors. I found a picture of it online. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, the bullet hole
The
cover.
bullet hole cover.
Yeah.
I actually bought that comic at Wizard's comic book store in Nanuet years ago.
Whoa, you've been there.
I had very few interactions with the folks there. I remember they got me to buy Dark Stars #1. They told me it was a good investment, and then that one was there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's a hot comic." So I was like, "Cha-ching!" But the ones I did find, and I'm gonna get the old man shouting at a cloud right now. I don't like this what they did, and it's something that continues to this day, which is part of why I get out of comics. But this is, let me turn it around. Batman, Legends of the Dark Knight, all these different color comics. So if you couldn't just get one, like nowadays, I hear Joe talking to other folks, and they're like, "Oh, I just got Spider-Man #3, but this is the so-and-so cover, but there's also this guy's cover, and then this guy did a cover." Yeah. So it's not even a special issue if you just wanted your average comic, but you had to get all these different covers. So, I mean, it's not that crazy, 4 different ones, but it's just something I don't care for.
Well, that's credited with kicking off the Gimmick variant cover craze. So I mean, that's wild that it just started with colors and just pile it on, something new.
It's like cha-ching, like, oh, people bought all different ones. Like, what else will they buy?
Well, I remember having this discussion with Mike this is before I was actually reading or collecting comics, when North Star, his whole, saying he was gay in the comic, and I remember you said you didn't get, or at least at the time, you didn't get the first printing, you got the second printing, and I'm like, what's this? And explaining to me the whole first and second, maybe third printing, and the overall background color would change, for the printings, and I was just like, this is crazy, man. Like, just get the one and read it.
Yeah, but that point, I think it was red letters for the first issue, and then blue letters,
something like that.
For the second edition.
I don't even remember. The only thing that's seared in my brain is the figure coming out at you, the like North Star, because he's on. I think he's on that cover. He's just
yes, yeah. It's like just
not like that
screaming.
Michael.
No, sort of like that.
Kind of.
He's not having a seizure.
It's pretty close. Not to insult the artist, who I don't remember who it was, but it was quite the jarring cover. Okay, so I got a few to run through. One is Shadowhawk, which
there are so many Shadowhawk.
Why?
Gimmicks. I just skipped that one at the beginning, but there's so many.
I mean, literally, it's die cut just with the silver in the back, and you can't even read the title. Thought that was interesting. As I have made plainly clear, I'm such a huge Hulk fan, but I like this. It's a sweet cover. It's die cut.
Hey, look at that.
Hulk, Gary Frank at this time instead of Dale Keown. This is a marriage issue. This famous issue of Batman, which has a flap, I guess. It's kind of like a full cover. And I think this was glow in the dark, or at one point it was glow in the dark. I may be wrong.
Maybe a second printing, or I think maybe the bat symbol was glow in the dark or something. Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
But unfortunately, covering up a great Kelly Jones cover.
Yep.
And then Oren will remember this. The Extreme Studios tour.
Wow.
At Wizard comic shop.
That was at Wizard. Yep. That's right.
Wow.
Yep. So somewhere I think that is Merritt Michaels, Dan Fraga. Where is Liefeld? Oh, right there.
Yep.
There's Liefeld. And then all of those guys. I remember going with you, Oren, and they just have them lined up with this book. You got the book. First thing, it's like going into a buffet. You get your tray, and then
a book buffet.
Yeah, exactly. And then the guys were just in a line at these folded out tables, and they just took turns signing, and it was like, okay, I guess that's what I did with my Saturday.
I was like. I remember walking away being like, these guys don't want to talk to us at all. Like they've so miserable. They've probably been having to do this, and every snot-nosed kid being like, X-Force #1 was awesome.
But they tell it now. They're like, oh, we did it all for the fans. You guys were so great. We just, the memories, man, the memories. And at the time, everybody I've talked to that went to a signing for an Image Comics person, they're just like, it was a madhouse. They didn't care. Or people like took art samples. They threw my art samples away. Like all this kind of stuff. Like it was, I don't know. They have a revisionist history of how excellent it was for everybody else.
Yeah.
Maybe Mike and I were just the jerks and they didn't want to deal with us.
Yeah, that's true.
You just travel all over the country finding them and going to the cons and, hey guys, I saw you.
Can you sign it again so I can see the difference between your signatures?
I mean, the one we've heard is the coolest was Eric Larson. He was just a dude you would hang out with, even like at a bar at a hotel, and he would just talk to you. Like he was cool that way.
I mean, he seems that way. These guys, I wasn't there, unfortunately.
Cool. Yeah,
we should reach out to him again.
Yeah, he was. That was like the first guy that we talked to that was big. Not that anyone else wasn't, but it was early on. And Oren's like, you should sit down. I'm like, why? He goes, no, sit down because I got to tell you who we're going to be talking to. I'm like, holy shit. And, ever since then, our goal was to, like our white whale was to talk to Todd McFarlane. And we had, like up until now, we've spoken to all these people around him, his letterer, co-workers, what have you, everyone. And, we've tried reaching out and he's just like kind of busy, but
making action figures, man. He's
too busy charging, $80 a figure, whatever it is.
If you were a toy podcast, he'd be on. But one of our past guests from the Toy Lines podcast, they had him, because they
really
to talk
hey
toys.
Guys, you want to switch for a little while? I got toys.
Rebrand real quick.
Yeah.
Great. What about the baseballs? Does he still do the baseball thing, or that because of the taint of the steroid era? It's sort of like no longer a safe conversation topic.
Yeah, you got to admit though, with the baseball, the steroid era is a lot more fun because those home runs. I saw Mark McGwire at Shea Stadium once. He hit like 4 home runs. I don't care if he hits 100 home runs. Keep going, buddy. Go for it.
Here's your fresh syringes, sir. Please keep hitting them.
Remember to use the alcohol swab.
Yes. Wow. Right. They should have had a polybagged steroid syringe.
Lenticular syringe.
Well, I guess we should wrap this up. I mean, does anybody have any that are still on the shelf that you really wanted to? I mean, I think we can throw a few more in there. I just have one more that I believe
Oren sent to me in a trade that I wanted to share. But did you send me this Ultra Force, Oren? Did that come from you? Do you recall?
I sent you the one with the glow in the dark where it says like it's cyber rad, and he's like, I think it says I'm not a machine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so Oren and I did a trade a while back, and so I got a couple of Gimmick covers that time too. But that was just one where you get a full hologram cover. That's pretty impressive.
That's funny.
I'll take credit for it though.
I have a random one here. I will tell you, never read this, didn't know it was even in my collection. Someone might have give it to me when they were like throwing away their comics.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I've never opened the cover. I've never been taken out of the poly bag here. I don't know where it just. Oh, it's here. Cool, great. But yeah, it's a cool cover either way.
Yeah.
He will see him on Disney Plus soon enough. We're gonna get some Darkhawk. He's got to come.
You got to think so.
I think
him and all the
that.
New Warriors.
We talked to what's his name? Oh Christ,
Mike Manley.
Yes,
right. That's the artist, I think, on that one. Yeah.
Yep.
And that came up in conversation. I was like, I will not be surprised if Darkhawk makes some type of appearance at some point. I mean, we have Moon Knight in a series now. I mean,
who would have thought? Who would have thought you'd ever see Moon Knight?
Peacekeeper, all these
I'm just praying for Miracle Man. Just give me a Miracle Man movie or show. My head will melt. I will just totally die.
You can watch it in a courtroom, Michael, because that will just never be settled. I feel
they've got some rights. There's some of the rights there. Come on, Neil Gaiman's got to be like, hey, go ahead, do these couple of stories. It'd be great.
He's got
There's
that
an idea
Sandman
for
money.
that
He doesn't need it.
Slugfest miniseries. They could do another one with just all creators battling each other for rights and stuff. That would be a great one.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, thank you super much for coming on. I think this is a fun addition. We can probably do this like all night. I know I have stacks. But I'm sure the viewers are like, okay, enough with the gimmicks already. Just like the audience in the mid to late 90s are like, enough of the gimmick covers. So let me give you guys the opportunity to talk a little bit about your show and tell us a little bit about what's going on, what's coming up, and where we can find you.
All right. Well, obviously, Wizards, the podcast guide to comics. We love to re-examine the 90s comic book boom through the pages of Wizard magazine. Yes, we go through every issue. That's the specials. That is, I mean, it is kind of crazy how much Wizard was putting out. It just continued to grow and grow over the years. But yeah, so we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. You know, you mentioned earlier, you know, that you had to sit down when you heard about a guest coming up, and we have a guest that Michael was very excited about that came on for episode 55, which we'll be releasing soon. Do you just want to give people the tease there, Michael?
Sure. We had Jason Inman most recently on our show, who has worked a lot with DC Comics. He's got a bunch of his own books out. Awesome. He's a really cool guy. I've been a big fan of his for a while, and it was super. I totally fanboyed out with this guy. I was like, I'm a dork, but okay, whatever. You can find us on our social media at Instagram at Wizards_comics. You can find us on Twitter at Wizards Comics, and you can check us out on whatever podcasting platform you listen to. We've got a ton of episodes and mini episodes and bonus episodes and you name it, so on and so forth.
Lenticular episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and we do have, I should say, we have our own gimmick. We have Holominium. Oh, a Holominium Wizard sticker. So yes, there you go. If you ever meet us in person at a convention, at a comic book store, we can hook you up. So you let us know. We are always ready to talk Wizard, talk 90s comics. We love it. And again, guys, we love your show, so we appreciate you inviting us on, because we got to have you guys back over on our podcast soon enough.
Yeah, it was super fun talking to you guys.
Continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way,
if you want, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a real pleasure for us to come on your show. So we're definitely down to do it again. I was just gonna say, you guys can take a pair of scissors, cut about 3 lines in there, and have a die cut chromium sticker. Just an idea, top of the dome.
You just fold it up like origami to make a little snip here and there and open it up. There you go.
So many ways you can take that. Well, thank you guys. Michael, Adam from Wizards, the podcast guide to comics. We, Joe, myself, and Oren are the Dollar Bin Bandits, and we'll wrap this up and say adios, amigos, and see you next time.